Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday Chew on Tuesday the 30th of July 2019. I'm here with Roy Johnson and I'm Matthew Dashby Hughes. We've got lots for you today. We've got some news, we've got our tip of the day, we've got our How to Succeed podcast, we've got a viewer's question. Another viewer's question has come flooding in, breaking our post bag.
Big post bag.
Yeah, it matches with my mug down here. We've got some free resources for you because we do love to give away some free stuff. We've got yet another book review, and then finally the now legendary Talking Pants section. But before we start, we've been sent a gift by a viewer.
We have a viewer.
We have the lovely Steph Talbot. Hi, Steph. Steph is the MD, the CEO, and the driving force behind the wonderful Alice charity, who do such phenomenal work within the local community, particularly within the Newcastle under Lyme area. So Steph's concerned. Oh, she's worried about us.
She's a very caring person.
She's a very caring person. She's concerned that we're squabbling over these mugs.
I'm not squabbling, I'm happy.
She's concerned that we're squabbling over these mugs, so she sent us these.
Oh, present.
A present, a gift, an actual boxed gift.
I love a gift. Now, for the other viewer, we like to receive gifts.
Absolutely, yes. Maseratis are nice. We like
Yes, they break down a lot. But,
they look pretty there. Look at this. It matches my eyes.
Beautiful on Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
On Sunday morning. Lovely. Hey, Steph, thank you very much for the wonderful Alice charity. I look forward to using this quite a lot. Yes. There we go.
I think I'll just replace that because, mine's bigger than his now. Still having to overcompensate.
Okay, moving on. Thank you, Steph. So news from last week. Last week I was down south.
Down south.
Yeah, where it was hot. The train lines were warping. But I was working with a group of 25 people, different types of businesses, industries, everywhere from car sales, opticians, a bed retailer, also a company that works with large organisations to provide exhibition stands, accountants, IT. It was quite a group. Very, very enjoyable. I thank you all for your time, and it took me ages to get back. And do you know what I noticed about down south?
What do you notice about down south?
Apart from it being hot, the beer is very, very expensive. I'm not going there ever again.
Well, if you actually need a mortgage referral or something like that, we know some really good people.
We do.
Absolutely. So if you need to remortgage your house to be able to buy a single pint of beer in London.
Yes. So for Matt Floodgate, our friend. I'm never going there again, but thank you for the recommendation.
Matt is from Gatewood Commercial Finance. We now know why he's in commercial finance. It's so that he can finance his trips down south.
Indeed.
That's right, because it's very expensive.
Anyway,
yes.
Tip of the day.
Tip of the day. So my tip of the day today is if you could only learn one of the thousands of techniques that we have within Sandler, probably the one that I would choose is the upfront contract. So the upfront contract is basically agreeing and setting out exactly what a meeting or a telephone call or any kind of interaction is going to look like in terms of outcomes, in terms of the agenda, in terms of time that it's going to take. And it even just by doing that simple thing, it sets you apart from your competitors, it makes you professional. It's also a really nice way to do business because it's absolutely fair and equitable, and the people that you're working with, or potentially going to be working with, understand exactly what's going to be happening in your meeting.
So you did this in the foundations last week or the week before?
Week before last we did foundations, and in fact one of the people who attended the foundations used that particular technique within 24 hours of the course finishing, and recouped more than 3 times the cost of the actual course just within 24 hours, just simply by using that technique.
An upfront contract, 300% return in 24 hours.
That was exactly right, yeah.
Well, that's worth doing.
I would say so. I was very pleased.
Upfront contracts.
Absolutely.
And, setting expectations, start of a meeting, and at the end for the next meeting to define what should be happening gives a great range of clarity. I love the upfront contract. It's the thing that made the biggest difference to my sales when I was actually selling for someone else.
Absolutely. The How to Succeed podcast, it's got almost 300 episodes and almost over 1 million downloads now. This is the globally available free How to Succeed podcast from Sandler. Roy.
So this week's episode is how to succeed at sticking to the agenda. I don't know if it's happened to you, but sometimes the agenda gets hijacked. We never get to the end. Someone's got their own personal agenda. How do we stick to agenda in meetings? It's only a short podcast, 11 minutes long, but it's really how to avoid curveballs and people taking over the meeting. Again, it's an example of a good upfront contract. So we're going to put a link on this. Where we're going to put the link?
Down below.
Okay.
Very good. So we've got a viewer's question. I'm going to have to read this one out.
Is this the same viewer or another viewer?
I think this is another viewer.
Awesome.
All two of you. Hello. The question this week is, I have a potential customer who's expecting me to drive down to see them in the south of the country, which, as we've already established, is a very expensive thing to do.
And hot.
Yes, to do a free audit of their business. Now, they're a big business. They would be a great client. Should I do it? Short answer is probably not. Or maybe you do, but you do it with the caveat that actually you agree a sensible upfront contract beforehand, so that you understand what the outcomes from you doing that audit look like. And actually, you know what? The reason why they want you to do that stuff is not because the stuff you do is free, but because it has value. It has value to them. So actually, if you talk to them and you ask the right questions, you can assess what kind of value it has to them and agree something which is fair and equitable that both parties are happy with.
Okay, so if someone's expecting you to travel a long way, I mean, is it reasonable to even talk about financial remuneration?
I would suggest it probably is, especially if what you're about to do has extreme value to them.
Love it. Very, very good. Very good.
Talking free resources.
With also great value.
Absolutely.
We've got another white paper for you. 8 unique challenges in enterprise selling. Enterprise selling in teams to companies who are buying in teams, has a lot of complexity to it, and it differs quite a lot from selling to small SMEs or even one-man organisations. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, commitment, resources. The returns can be huge, but knowing what you're doing through each step can mean that you can maximise the possibility of returns, or discovering early if this is not for you, so you can get out. That paper we're going to put...
I think we're going to put a link down below.
Okay.
Very good. So we've got the book review, our weekly book review, because I've been reading stuff again.
Book Boy's been at it again.
I can't stop myself. So this week we have Change the Sandler Way, a book by Hamish Knox. It's extremely readable. It's a very, very good book. In fact, I think you gave me this one.
That's a good book.
It is a cracking book, actually. So change is inevitable in every organisation. How the transition is handled is the difference between success and failure. That's fundamentally the case. So this book gives you a bunch of effective tools, resources and insights. Insights, I think the best definition I've ever heard of the word insight is hidden truths. So great insights into how to manage change effectively. I commend it to you.
Yeah, indeed. It's a great book. It's available on Amazon.
Amazon, other booksellers are available.
Yep, awesome. So, Talking Pants.
Talking Pants.
So this week we've seen a survey from Evernote, a Sandler partner, and Sandler, that shows that a lot of us are guilty of talking pants. Well, not you.
Obviously not me. No, I never talk pants.
No. In fact, a survey of 420 salespeople showed that on average they believe that 70% of their time, 70% of their time, has to be spent on non-selling activities. What?
I know. And actually, when they got inside it and they started looking at the different types of activities that were taking up all the time, I have to confess they sounded very familiar. Emails, doing admin, data entry, and the list went on and on. And
research, that's a favourite one.
Research. I mean, I could probably spend more time researching than actually calling. Because it's a comfort zone, isn't it? It's actually code for I don't want to make a cold call. If I'm being really honest,
you've written it here. Break bread.
Oh, yes, breaking bread, like the touching base.
Please. I mean, are they talking pants?
I've got to say that given the fact that more than half of the activities that were taking their time could in fact be either automated or delegated, the answer is absolutely categorically they are talking pants.
In fact, as soon as I saw breaking bread, that
breaking
deserves
something, possibly wind.
Brilliant. So it's the end of Tuesday Chew for today. So it's goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.